All right, boys and girls, today's lesson is 2-11, multi-step word problems. Basically what we're doing today is we're going to be working with multiplication, like we have been this whole unit, and we're just plugging them into word problems rather than just look at a couple numbers and say, okay, I know what the answer is. We're going to put them in word problems just to make sure you're able to work them out. So I put a problem up here for you. I want you to read it over. What I want you to do is I want you to read it over, pause it, and I want you to try to find your own answer. Okay? So once you get your own answer, unpause it, then we're going to go through some steps. So a school with 237 students is raising money for new gym equipment. If every student donates $6, how much money would be donated? Solve it on your own, and then unpause it and come back. Okay, so hopefully you have an answer. We're going to go over it, and we'll find out the exact answer. I'm assuming how awesome you've all been in here so far. You probably all have the right answer, but I want to go through steps of when you solve a word problem. Okay. First thing you want to know is how many numbers are in the word problem. So you might want to underline the numbers. And sometimes numbers are written in words. They're written in word form. In this case, they're not. In this case, we see 237 students and $6. Those are the two numbers we're working with. So what question is the problem asking? What are they asking here? Notice with a question mark at the end, that's where the question is. So how much money would be donated? Okay, so we're looking for how much money, the total amount of money donated. So how can we figure out how much money was donated? Hopefully you all multiplied the amount donated by each student by the number of students. So the amount donated by each student times the number of students. So 6 times 237. Okay, now that you know you have 6 times 237, hopefully some of you put your rectangle like this. That's 6 times 237, which equals 200 plus 30 plus 7. And here you had 200 times 6 equals 1,200. Here you had 30 times 6 equals 180. Here you had 7 times 6 equals 42. Add them all together, and you would get to 12 carry the 1, 4, 1. 1,422, and don't forget about it, dollars, because that's what the unit we are working with. All right, so today I'm going to go over 3 or 4 of the workbook pages. They all kind of ask different questions, so we're going to go over one from each workbook page, and then you're going to go back on your own, either in the independent station or at the end of this lesson, and work on them by yourself. So I'm going to kind of scoot this guy out of the way. I'm going to start with the first page here. Sorry. So the first one is, it says discuss problems with too much information. Okay, a word problem may sometimes include more information than you need. Read the following problem and then answer each question. Okay, Mrs. Sanchez is putting a border around her garden. Her garden is a rectangle with dimensions of 12 feet by 18 feet. The border material costs $3 per foot. How many feet of border material are needed? Okay, it says identify any extra numerical information. Well, first I want to underline all the numbers I found, 12, 18, and $3. So the next thing is find out the question they're asking. I'm going to circle the question in blue. Okay, the question they're asking is how many feet in border material is needed. So what information here do we not need? Of these numbers that we looked at, what don't we need? Okay? Let's look at question number 1. It says identify any extra material or extra numerical information. Why isn't this information needed? The question asks how many feet of border material is needed. It does not ask about how much it's going to cost. So you could say the cost of material is extra information, because you don't need it. It wants to know how many feet of border material is needed. Doesn't say anything about money. Okay, so now solve the problem. Let's forget about that. Let's just do okay, so let's solve it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it down a little bit, and I'm going to draw myself a square. And it's going to be a 12 feet by 18 feet Well, I should have done 18 here because it looks a little. And 12 here. If you know perimeter, 12 plus 12 equals 24. 18 plus 18 equals 36. You add the two together, you get 60 feet. I know this isn't multiplication, but it just wants to know how many feet you need. Okay, it wants to know how many feet. See? How many feet, not square feet, it just wants to know how many feet. So the answer was 60. 60 feet of border. Remember, I know we're doing a lot of multiplication. It doesn't mean that every single problem is multiplication. All right, so you're going to work on the next three on your own at the end of the lesson. But I'm going to push this page out of the way, and I'm going to grab our next page. So turn to the next page. Page 66. It says discuss problems with too little information. So when solving problems in real life, you need to determine what information is needed to solve the problem. Read the following problem and then answer each question. The campers and staff of a day camp are going to an amusement park on a bus. Each bus holds 26 people. How many buses will be needed? All right, let's underline the numbers. We have 26, and that's it. The question is, how many buses will be needed? So number 6 says, do we have enough information to solve this problem? What information do we need? Okay, hopefully you're thinking like me, and you say, well, each bus holds 26 people, but we have no idea how many people. So your answer here should be no, because we don't have enough information, because we need the number of people. We have no idea. Sure, every bus can hold 26 people, but we could have 1,000 people. We don't know how many buses we need until we know how many people. Okay? So that's another one. I want you to work on 7, 8, 9, and 10 on your own after the lesson. It's going to be the same type of stuff. It might be too little information. Next page. Like I said, I'm doing one from each problem, one from each page, and you'll work on the rest on your own. All right. So, hidden questions. Discuss problems with hidden questions. Mrs. Norton bought 2 packages of white cheese with 8 slices in each pack. She bought 3 packages of yellow cheese with 16 slices in each pack. How many more slices of yellow cheese than white cheese did she buy? Okay. So, let's underline the numbers. We have a 2. We have an 8. We have a 3. We have a 16. And then our question is, how many more slices of yellow cheese than white cheese did she buy? So what do you need to find? Okay, what do you need to find? Hopefully, you realize you need to find how many more slices of yellow than white cheese Mrs. Norton bought. Basically, that's your question. Okay? Number 12, what are the hidden questions? You kind of have to work this out. You have to realize that you need to find out how many white pieces of cheese, then you need to find out how many pieces of yellow cheese, and then you need to take the total amount of yellow cheese and subtract the total number of white cheese, and that'll give you the amount of difference, or the amount of more yellow cheese. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to write these in. What you need to find, actually, what you need to find is this what I circled, the question. What are the hidden questions are, how many slices of cheese did she buy, and how many slices of yellow cheese did she buy, and how many slices of white cheese? How many slices of yellow cheese? Sometimes you have to work out 2 problems in one word problem. How many slices of white cheese? Once you get the total from each, then you subtract the bigger of the 2 numbers, and you'll find the difference. So I want you to work on that on your own, and then do 14 and 15. All right, next page, last page we're going to work on, a mixed problem solving. It says solve each problem and show your work. So basically, in a mixed problem solving, you need to look at and find out exactly what they're asking. Mr. Collins counts 54 cartons and 5 boxes of paper clips. Each carton contains 8 boxes. A box of paper clips costs $2. How many boxes of paper clips does he have? Okay, what you're looking for here is, the question is, how many boxes of paper clips does he have? The question says he has 54 cartons and then 5 extra boxes. Each carton contains 8 boxes. So first, you need to find out 54 times 8. So I'm going to do the shortcut method. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry the 3. 5 times 8 is 40. 43. And then I'm going to add on the 5 extra boxes that he had to give me 437. So the answer would be 437 boxes. Notice they threw some unneeded information in for the cost of $2. You don't need to know that for this question. So what I want you to do is I want you to work on 17 on your own. And then 18, I want you to read what's the error. see where the puzzled penguin messed up. If he did mess up, maybe not. And but you're going to do all this after the lesson or during your independent station.